they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window? I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah.
All right, welcome to Graybo's Giblets, part of the NoOffseason.com Sports Card Network. We know you don't have 40 hours per week to pour over podcasts and spreadsheets to handicap these games yourself. We're going to do that for you and bring you our picks each week so you can have some confidence heading into the weekend or walking up to the window. We're out here dropping giblets. I'm your host, Graybo, and joined by always, Denny one time and Fitz. We are here to break down the week 15 of the NFL slate. How we doing, fellas? We're back in the studio.
Graybo, thanks for having us. We are excited. Big week in the NFL, big week in the card shop at Graybo Sports Cards. You know, this is a release week for Bowman Draft. Baseball, if you're not a baseball card head, is probably one of or the biggest product drops of the year. We got 3 cases of it. So people are chasing like new draft picks like Paul Skeens and Wyatt Langford. But they're also, Bowman put in a Tom Brady card. Most of you guys may or may not know that, you know, he was going to play baseball, drafted by the Expos. So they snuck in some Bowman Brady autos, and it's a massive chase. Everybody's going crazy about it. So it's been a fun week in the shop. We've been ripping a bunch of the product on whatnot.
Yeah, love crossing football and baseball. Getting the football fans into baseball rips. I mean, people, it's a big chase.
Sure.
What is the bounty on the gold 12 out of 50? $500,000. Woo! Bring them out. We haven't hit Brady yet, but we're bound to.
We're going to keep trying.
What's up, man?
Hey,
How about your 49ers, man?
How about them? How about them Raiders?
God, that game. They hit the Raiders hit the over themselves in the first half. Aiden O'Connell, 4 touchdowns in the first half. If you started them in fantasy playoffs.
NFL's weird. They scored 63 points last night. They scored 0 points
Against
the
my
week
Vikings.
before.
My Vikings.
Against Gray's
I
Vikings.
think last night's game was like more points than all the other Thursday night games combined.
So what are the odds the Chargers head coach survives the week?
Good. He would have been fired this morning, I think.
Really? That quickly?
I mean, that was pretty bad.
Not even
He's already been
till,
on
not even like the end of the day, like today, the end of the day.
I think it would have been this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, the NFL's weird. Most businesses, like you calmly wait and do things. In NFL, it's like a cutthroat culture, and I'm surprised he's not fired yet. But hey, you know, it's on the West Coast. It's only 6:30 a.m., so maybe give him till noon.
Maybe because of Herbert being out, he gets a little relief there. But he was already on the hot seat before this.
Herbert doesn't play defense.
And he's a defensive guy.
And their defense is the most, I think the
Second highest paid
defense this year. Khalil Mack, James. Anyways.
That's not good.
It's not good. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's get to the board. We got some games. I'm going to tell you what, fellas. It wasn't a great week for us. Fitz didn't like it. Didn't like it. Weird week. I can't wait till we get to our props. It is the funniest thing in the world. What props we picked last week. I can't wait to talk about it and how badly we missed. It is so funny. Okay. But before that, remember, you can go on Whatnot, get $15 on Whatnot by joining through whatnot.sportscardstrategy.com. We are starting to heat up on Whatnot. Follow us, Graybo's Cards. All right. Denny, 21-19 and 2 overall, hit the Bears, lost the Panthers. They stink, and the Raiders pushed. Couldn't score 63 this last week for you. Fitz, you're 23-19 and 1. Hit the Browns, but you lost your unders, Ravens, Rams, and Jets, Texans. Myself, I'm 25-18. I also went 1 and 2. Colts and Texans, big losses. But the Rams covered, surprisingly, in overtime. The Rams are trending. Rams are trending. All right, Duke, who are your 3 this week? Let's get some money for the people because we were not good last week. And we need to be better for the people.
Speaking of the Rams trending, they're trending on my DraftKings app. I've been clicking that button a few times this morning. Rams minus 6.5. I was telling you guys before the pod, I think it should be 13.5. The Rams are trending up. Wide receivers are healthy. Stafford is going to sling it all over the yard. The Washington defense, worst defense in the league. They gave away their best two defensive linemen. They have no pass rush. It's just a bad combination. Unless somehow Riverboat Ron gets the team going, I don't see how he can. In anything under 10 points, I'm going to just jam the Rams. So, Rams minus 6.5 is my first pick. My second pick, going back to the Bears. I kind of was joking about the Bears last week. Never said that name on the podcast in a positive light. But, I mean, picture where they were like 6 weeks ago to today. They're starting to get it together a little bit. You know, if you can get them at +3, do it. They're out there at 2.5 on a lot of places, but look for the +3. And then finally, Green Bay, another team that I think has just kind of slowly turned it around. They're getting better. I think you're finding out the AFC South is all pretty doo-doo. And give me 3, and I'm fine laying 3 and a hook.
Love it. I really want Green Bay to get the 3, and then I'm going to pound that. Hopefully, I can.
You're going to take them to Pound Town?
Love that word.
Yeah, he is.
It makes me laugh. Then I will pound Green Bay at -3. I don't know about the Bears yet. I'm still unofficial. I don't know if I can do +2.5, but they look good against the Lions. DJ Moore, need you this week, buddy. Need you this week. All right, Fitz, who are we going with?
What do you need him in?
Fantasy football.
Playoffs? Oh, yeah. Look at us.
I'm in.
I'm in, too.
I'm in. We survived. We'll have to give Fitz another shout-out. I hate doing this. We give Fitz shout-out too much, too often.
Yep.
But starting 0-6 and making the playoffs is unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
That's something.
And not to mention, like, dumping
he dumped his team. Like, it's a keeper league, so he was dumping his team just, to maybe get, like, a couple keepers for next year, and he made the playoffs.
So who are your young guys that stepped up? If you dumped
Drake London, finally.
Jake Browning.
Jake Browning.
Look at the quarterbacks that like
David
hurt.
Njoku.
Njoku had a game last week to get you in.
I mean,
my team is buns.
Buns.
You're
cheeks.
just like you're just floating on like a life raft here.
Yeah, I'm running AJ Dillon most weeks. Yeah. So this week, well, actually last week, I lost my Jets Texans under 34. That game was scoreless at half.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And then my over was Rams Ravens under 40. I think they were at 40 at half. So
Samsonite. I was way off.
This week we're going to get right, just like the Lions are. -4. They're fighting for the NFC. Their defense is concerning for sure. They cannot stop the run, but neither can the Broncos. And they're somehow fighting for the AFC West, which is insane, given their start and the Chiefs being in that division. So it's the Broncos' third game in a row on the road. Like I said, they can't stop the run. They definitely can't stop tight ends. So Sam Laporta, put him in those DFS lineups, boys. He's going to cook. And I think Goff should have a good game through the air as well. So give me the Lions. I'm going all favorites, actually, for this segment. I'm going to tail the Rams pick. I agree. The line's a little short. That was a tough one last week. They were hanging with the Ravens in the bad conditions, kind of a sketchy punt return there at the end with all the blocks. So Rams looked good. Staff was slinging it. Washington, as you guys already referenced, is not good. They're the worst passing defense in the league. They're the worst scoring defense in the league. They've lost 4 in a row, and they're coming off of a bye week in Week 14, which is why are we doing this?
They're done.
Why are we doing bye weeks in Week 14? Not just for fantasy, but like that's way too late in the season to be having a bye week. They should cram those in my opinion.
Let's call Roger right after this.
Yeah,
Some people start their playoffs Week 14. I don't know why, but like you have 2 teams on a bye.
Yeah, that would suck having bye players in the fantasy playoffs. You fought this long. This whole season you fought to get to the playoffs.
And you lose Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
I think that might be the only startable. It was the
Scary Terry got 0
Commanders
receptions.
Cardinals, so it wasn't like it wasn't like it was a Dolphins and Niners.
NFL knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Last pick, Eagles. -3 on the road in Seattle. I believe that's Monday Night Football. Gray doesn't like it, so I love it. Eagles got to stop the bleeding, right? Coming off 2 tough losses. Hawks defense is down near the bottom as well. They're terrible in the red zone offensively, and they're ranked near the bottom in third down defense too. So I think Hurts and the boys will be able to get it right, and I think they should win this by a field goal or more.
All right. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about the Eagles. I hope they bounce back. Got embarrassed by
I mean, I don't care.
Cowboys.
Yeah, if they can lose, that's cool too.
That's cool too. We got 3 games Saturday that we forgot to mention. So I do. The Lions do play on Saturday. We are going to be talking about DFS, but Sunday only. Well, you better believe me and Denny are playing Saturday slate as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right, my 3 after not a very great week. Brown Bears.
How about that?
How about that?
What's the rule with bears? Colors? What do you do? You see a brown bear, you see a black bear.
I want to pet that dog.
Oh, my gosh. Anyways, Browns, Flacco getting all this love. He is named the starting quarterback for the rest of the year. He's got crazy incentives. If he wins the Super Bowl, $2 million. Wins the AFC Championship, it's $1 million. You know, win a divisional playoff game, it's like $500,000. So he's got crazy incentives. He's going to blow it. The Bears actually have a pretty good rushing defense. Browns rely on that run, and then Flacco's play action has been working. But I think it's going to catch up to them against the Bears. I think the Bears have a better defense than the last 2 teams they've played. Denny likes the Bears as well, right, Denny?
I do.
So I like the Bears to kind of shut down Flacco, and then the Browns defense is so good. You know, have a spy on Fields, keep him in check, keep DJ Moore in check, even though I need maybe a touchdown at DJ Moore, but keep it under 38.5. Browns and Bears under 38.5. Yes.
Yeah, just for the folks listening for Bear Tech strategy and safety guidance.
You looked it up.
The rule of thumb is if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. If it's white, good night.
If you find yourself on an iceberg,
Find yourself in Antarctica.
and you didn't know you were already in a bad shape.
I like that. Bills, Cowboys, over 50.5. Josh Allen got it done last week. I love the Bills. And the Bills are favored, so they're going to have to put up points. You know the Cowboys are going to put up points against the Bills' defense. Dak looks great. I mean, he's in the running for MVP. It's him or Purdy right now, I believe, are the top dogs with the odds.
And people hate that.
People hate it. So I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. Yeah, you talk about the Cowboys' defense. You look at it, though, Cowboys' defense gets a lot of turnovers. I know Josh Allen does turn the ball over a lot. But the Eagles, if you looked, were getting like 6 yards on average per play, which is a lot. Cowboys can force turnovers. So if the Bills, Josh, if you're listening to this podcast, take care of the ball, and you'll be in this game. I actually do like the Bills to win this one. So I do think it's going to be high scoring, over 50.5, rooting for a lot of points there. And then how can we not talk about DeVito and the Giants? +6 against the Saints. Are you telling me Giants, better coach, better defense, and DeVito is hot right now, and they're 6-point dogs? Carr doesn't look like himself. They played the Panthers last week. Panthers stink. So I love the Giants getting points. I see some people like listening to Sharps talk about Giants money line. So take the +6. Love it. Almost was my lock. They will be part of my lock. You know I love these teasers. Yeah. So Giants +6. Really like that bet. It's probably my favorite one of these 3. So DeVito looking strong. His agent looking strong. G-men are back, baby.
The Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlet memes, and I can't get enough of them. It's a cultural phenomenon.
Keep riding it.
The internet's undefeated.
Yeah.
Keep riding it. All right. Our bets have been good this year. Props have not. We might have to cut this segment next year. We'll talk about that. But anyways, Graybos get 10% off.
1 vote for cutting.
Purchase at graybos.co by using the promo code strategy, all lowercase, 2023. So this is the funniest week. I was laughing out loud looking back at our bets. Duke is 4-11 overall. He had Alvin Kamara over 34.5. He finished with over 34.5 receiving yards. Kamara finished with 3 catches for -11 receiving yards.
The backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I can walk backwards fast as you can.
I did say I would push back on that prop.
Oh my gosh, I was
Do you think
laughing.
he would go backwards?
Laughing out loud. And he was a smash play for DFS. I mean, he did score, but that was it. That's all he did. Fitz is 6-9. He took Roshan Johnson, said this guy was the starter, going to get over 50% of the snaps. His prop was over 14.5 rushing yards.
Uh-huh.
He had one frickin' carry for 6 yards.
I wish you guys would push back.
One carry. It gets better. I lost both my props. I had 2 props. Now I'm 7-11. I had a touchdown prop where I had Keenan Allen, Zach Moss, and Pacheco. Pacheco didn't even play. Zach Moss didn't score. Keenan Allen didn't score. They weren't even close. I think Zach Moss, again, gets stuffed on the goal line. Then I parlay, I added C-Mac. First play of the game, he rushes 85 yards to the goal line, gets taken out. Mason comes in and vultures his touchdown.
You can't make that up.
What a week for our props. 0-4. We got to do better. And I think we're going to the Rams to do better here. Let's play it safe. All right, dude, who are we going with?
Well, I've said several things this year. I'm not a prop bettor, so don't really listen to me. I've also said if you're going to make money on props, take the under. And I've yet to take an under. I've taken overs. So let's go over. Stafford, over 267.5 passing yards. As I mentioned, wide receivers are healthy. Washington has no pass rush. I lost the ability to talk there for a second. I mean, I think Stafford's going to sling it. I mean, again, don't listen to me on the prop bets. For fun, though, I'm fading my own Commanders here.
If our listeners fade us in the props, they're loaded. They're rich.
Yeah.
So I mean, we are, in a way, doing them a favor.
Yeah. Fade.
Fade, baby. Fade.
It's a great thing about this podcast is you have to decide which segment you're going to fade.
Fitz. Bounce back time.
Yeah.
We're going back to the Bears?
Yeah.
Bears running game or what?
Hand up, I was wrong on that one. The week before, he got pretty much all the share. I guess they did want to see a little bit more out of 6-year Deontay Foreman. So I'm glad he was able to get some stuff on film for them. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson over 4.5 receptions. The Wilson Bros are back.
I'm back, baby.
That's right. He cruised to that number last week as they hit the over on me. Yeah, Garrett Wilson should have well over 5 receptions this week.
Zach Wilson, over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson is a stud. They're going to try to find any way to get him the ball. So, not bad prop. All right, I'm going with Denny with the Rams to help Stafford crush that number. The receivers need to get there, right? Puka, over 66.5 receiving yards versus the worst secondary in the league. Love that number. He's like him and Kupp are like 1A, 1B. Their target share is about the same. Puka is unbelievable this year. Great pickup, whoever got him in your fantasy leagues. Congratulations. So Puka over 66.5 versus the worst secondary in the league. That's hitting. That's hitting. Don't fade that.
Has to.
That's hitting. We are moving into DFS. We have 3 games Saturday. We're not doing any Saturday games. So, smaller slate. We got to get different. We had a winning week. Is that right, Denny? Winning week?
Yeah.
Our strategy. We're starting to get it a little bit. Starting to get it. Some highs. Fading Allen and Mahomes for Lamar. Great job, Denny. Great decision. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, the Falcons look good. They helped us cash. The lows. The Vikings-Raiders stack game. 3-0. Not good. Devontae, not good. We thought he would be the best receiver. Just Hawkinson, not great. Not great. We had Dobbs and some, not great. Not great, Bob. Keenan Allen wasn't good. Zach Moss, again, burned us. But we don't get Zach Moss this week. It's going to be interesting. We got to keep our player pool small here. Denny, at quarterback, who do you like on Sunday?
So at the top, Josh Allen is certainly expensive, and everybody knows the Cowboys have been hot, but it does feel like a must-win spot for the Bills, maybe a letdown spot for the Cowboys. I do see some offense coming out of Buffalo. I would like to go on record stating that I said a couple weeks ago, bet the Bills 50-1 to win it all, which seemed ridiculous at the time. Now, they're at 18-1. So like you can cash that ticket already. Just cash it, take it, or bet them again at 18-1. I still like them at 18-1. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. It's just too much value with the Bills. Like they're going to sneak in the playoffs, and then you don't want to see them. So I'll get off that soapbox. But Josh Allen at the top, maybe 8,200. Stafford is going to be chalky. It's no secret what we've said about Stafford against the Commanders, but I think he's good chalk. So a lot of people are going to be on Sam Howell because the whole game script theory, they're going to be behind. But just don't forget that when a team is behind, it means the other team has scored a lot of points, and that's the Stafford side. So Stafford is cheaper than Sam Howell. It doesn't make much sense for me to play Sam Howell when he's going to be chalky and Stafford's cheaper, and the Rams are going to score more points. Game script is one thing, but what if the Rams win 28-7? Then Sam Howell didn't throw too many touchdown passes. If you want to go for an underdog who is going to be behind and might score some late cheap touchdowns, running or passing, Kyler Murray. So
rushing is worth more than passing.
Correct. Yeah, and we're going to get to tight ends in a second, but you can just see how that game is going to go. Cardinals behind. What's he doing down the stretch? He's throwing it to McBride, running for a 3-yard touchdown. So that's my quarterbacks.
I think you got me off Sam Howell. I had him on my list, but I'd rather go Stafford because I do have Stafford as my number one. Like Denny said, good chalk. Just got to get different elsewhere. I
wish you just stopped in there, just said diff. Got to get diff.
I wish
diff. Gray just coined some lingo. It's got to get diff.
But my favorite is going back to Brock Purdy at 6,200 against the Cardinals. No slowing down with this guy. Just play him. Playing for MVP. So I love Purdy. I love Stafford. And then if I want to go up top, it is Josh Allen for me over Dak with the rushing upside for me. So those are my three. But I would play Purdy and Stafford in about 80% of my lineups if it's up to me. But I have a partner in this, so we'll see what he wants to do. He likes to spread it out a lot more. Running back, I'll start. Kyron Williams is a smash play. He will be chalky as well. I mean, all Rams will be chalky, but he's a smash against the Commanders at his price around 7,200. You can always go C-Mac. Just know that he's really expensive, but he's the high dollar guy that you want. And then the value play is Zeke. Those are the three guys. They're probably going to be chalky. Zeke's going to be in a lot of lineups at 5,800. He's going to get a ton of checkdowns, point for PPR. So you can bounce off him and go Hubbard. I love Hubbard for the Panthers. He's clearly the number one. I mean, he's averaging like 70 rushing yards the last 4 games, and he's getting into the end zone. I know the Panthers stink, but it's somewhere to get different. So those are my 4 guys. Do you have anybody different or the same? You probably have a lot of the guys the same, but who else can we go to?
Yeah, so McCaffrey, Kyron, and Zeke are going to be uber chalky. Like Zeke especially is going to be like massively chalky. McCaffrey, as we know, you just can't ignore him. If you're doing a bunch of GPPs, you have to pick, play a certain percentage of McCaffrey because if he hits, he hits. Kyron, I'm with you. I think Kyron is probably good chalk. And then to me personally, I'm not going to get burned by Zeke. I'm not going to let Zeke ruin a third of my lineups. I've been burned too many times by the Patriots. I've been burned too many times by old man running backs. That's what he is. Now, will we play him? Maybe some. I think I'm just going to be below market on Zeke. If you look at my favorite stat that I've made up in fantasy football is if you put together fantasy points per dollar with ownership, so you want high fantasy points per dollar, low ownership. If you look for that, you make that metric, which I've created, which is called Denny Bucks. I've trademarked that name, can't use it. Kamara, again, keep saying the name, is going to be way lower owned than he should be when it comes to a projection standpoint. So I just think if you want to get different with somebody who's not that, like much of a dog to score 3 touchdowns, I just think Denny Bucks is up for Kamara. And then, you know what? Who's creeping up is a guy named Tony Pollard in Dallas. He did nothing for us for about 11 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's just starting to show a little fight. And the Cowboys, obviously, they could. I do think the Bills are going to win this game, but I do think the Cowboys will score some points. So 6,700, I think, it's not that weird for him to get 80 yards and 2 touchdowns here.
Okay, we got 2 for the Bills. Fitz, Bills or Cowboys? Bills. All right.
Sorry, Tim. We all agree because it's right.
Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, at wide receiver, For me, up top, right, you got to decide on one of these guys. And for me, it's Lamb over Hill. Hill, as we saw, got banged up, and then his wife told him to get in the freaking game and got back in the game. But I think he's banged up, and CeeDee Lamb has just been just as good and for cheaper. So take the money there, save the money there, go CeeDee Lamb. I'm all in on Puka to stack that Rams game. Puka with Stafford. If you go Purdy, I'm going Ayuk. So I love Puka and Ayuk. Really like Garrett Wilson at 5,800. What a steal that is. The Jets, Zach Wilson, he looked pretty good last week. I mean, we don't know what Zach Wilson you're going to get, but, get your best players the ball, get them in space, make them make a play. And Wilson at 5,800 can make that play. And like I said last week, can break the slate, if he has 6 receptions for 100 yards in a tutty at 5,800. Really like DeAndre Hopkins at 6,100. He's a guy that's not very popular in DFS. Had a coming out party last week. So I'd rather have him than like a guy like DJ Moore at 6,900 this week.
D-Hop's vibing with
Levis.
Yeah.
They are. And he's also a deep threat. I mean, he could have 2 catches for 20 yards, and you're like, dang, this game's getting late. And they throw a 70-yard bomb to him. So at any time, he can work out at 6,100. All right. I am going to go and say that Commanders wideouts have value. Gary Terry at 5,600. I know he didn't have a catch. He will have catches this week. Guaranteed. We'll have at least 3. Guaranteed. Has to. And then you still have Curtis Samuel at 4,600. They get him involved in everything. They can run him. Red zone guy. They throw the deep ball to him. So that's a good number as well. And who I really like is Jaden Reed at 4,900. With the Packers, especially if Christian Watson is out. He had a great game last week, even though they lost. And then the Giants also have value with Robinson. Hyatt is like 3,200. So they'll be getting the ball from DeVito. And then, yes, at 3,600, I can't believe I'm saying this for the first time this year, but Juju Smith-Schuster. It's not terrible at 3,600. He had 5 catches for about 90 yards last week. Denny, who you have?
I'm with you. I'm off Tyreek and the Dolphins this week. 2 dinged up. I'm just going under on that game pretty much across the board. Somebody who's expensive and we haven't taken a lot this year is Steph Diggs. If we think we're going to have a Bills explosion, I think a lot of it can go through Steph. I also agree with Puka big time. I'm trying to think like how are the Rams going to chop up the Commanders, and I just think it's Kyron and it's Puka, and I'm just a little more on Puka than Kupp, basically the whole season, but this game too. I'd also agree Wandale super cheap at 3,700. I like Wandale, and I just like him long term, and I like him short term. I'm with you on Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed, to me, every week I keep looking at it from the Packers' viewpoint, and he just has better value than Watson or Dobbs or any of the other options, in my opinion. At 4,900, I still think there's value there.
Agreed. With tight ends, I'm gonna need your help this week with tight end. There's Trey McBride, who will be the chalk, super chalk, 5,200. He's even projected to be just as good as Kelsey. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
So good number for him. I mean, you got to have him in some lineups. The other guy, I had to dig deep here. He had a touchdown last week, and I'm looking at the Rams Commanders game, right? Who do I stack with Stafford? And it's Davis Allen, 3,300. If Higbee's out, you definitely can go to him in the Stafford stacks. So those are my 2 that I won't feel terrible playing. Do you have anybody else that we can play?
I this year have not clicked on Kelsey as much, but they're in a must-win spot, and they've lost 2 in a row. They've never lost 3 in a row under Mahomes. I just feel like they're going to get back to the basics. They're going to get Kelsey the ball. So I actually do like him this week, and I also like McBride. So Kelsey's in a must-win, and McBride's in a must-throw situation. And I'm fine paying up for tight end. If you want to go cheap, also, keep your eye on Davis Allen, as you mentioned. Still Conklin. The weather, you're going to have some weather in the Jets game, but Conklin is cheap, and I think he's a reliable target. And don't count on that guy named Kyle Pitts, who we forget about sometimes. Decent spot for him. I think he's at 4K.
Yeah, scored a touchdown for us last week. I don't hate. No one's talking about it. Mahomes is still pretty cheap. You go Mahomes, Rice, Kelsey. You could get up on the field a little bit. We might have to throw a couple of those lineups in. Let's bring back Fitz back in here. He is the Survivor Master, taking the Saints. He's going to talk about it. Can't wait to see who. I can't believe he's in this long, even though he picked the Chargers twice. But
Asterisks.
yeah, he came back with the Texans. He's fine. He's safe.
Allegedly.
So, locks of the week. We had, again, just hilarious talking about it. Then he had the Panthers plus 5.5.
What a pick. What a pick.
But you're 8-5-1. Fitz said, don't fade me on this one. The Ravens cover all the time at half. Ravens were minus 4.5. Ravens minus 4.5 at half. Loss outright. And then my teaser, Rams plus 13.5. Got that, but then the Texans and Colts got blown out. So not a great week for the Giblets. Fitz, you are 2-12 overall. Just had to get that out there. And I am 10-4 now after losing that teaser. Survivor, we will get to a little later. So, Duke, let's go to you for your lock.
So this week it was tough for me because I was trying to decide between the Rams. And then I was thinking about the Rams game and then probably the Rams and maybe fading the Commanders. And then the Rams. So I think I'm going to go with Rams minus 6.5. I've withdrawn.
Pretty easy.
My child has a trip in Tucker. They have 529 plans where you save money each month for them to go to college. With withdrawn all those funds, and I've put those funds on the Rams minus 6.5.
Love it.
Lock it up.
Lock it up. I'm going back to the teasers. Can't lose teaser right here. Colts plus 4.5. Yes, going back to the Colts at home against the Steelers.
Minshew mania.
TJ Watt out. The Steelers stink. Mitch Trubisky, TJ Watt probably out. Colts better. I'm not going to say better coach. I shouldn't say that. But coach of the year. Yeah, Tomlin's pretty damn good. Coach of the year, probably. Colts plus 4.5. Going back to them. Bounce back. Packers plus 2.5. I do like the Packers to crush the Bucks after that loss. And then the Giants I like at plus 6. Now you get them at plus 12. So Colts 4.5, Packers 2.5, Giants 12. Teaser mania. Fitz. Here we go. First your lock or fade.
0-3 this week on locks. You are the company you keep. How am I 2-12, but also still alive in Survivor in week 15? Gambling doesn't make sense.
The math be mathing sometimes.
Eagles, lock, -3 on the road.
First ever Monday Night Football flex. I'm reading your line.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that crazy?
That's funny.
They flexed this game to Monday night. I think it was the Chiefs-Patriots. So the NFL didn't want to put us through that. So, yeah, I believe Geno Smith is going to make his return, which I think not good. I think I'd like the Seahawks more if Drew Lock. He played pretty well against the Niners. He had one bad pick, but overall was pretty efficient. Looked good. Yeah, Eagles lock it in. And then my Survivor pick.
Survivor.
Tim will like this. I'm going with the Rams for continuity. Double check. I haven't picked the Rams already.
Hey, Tim, if it's right, it's right.
We are good.
Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Niners, Lions, Dolphins, Seahawks. Look at this. Chargers, Browns, Cowboys, Jags, Titans, Texans, Saints, Rams. Got the Rams.
Right.
And have you followed Circa?
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I was listening to, they're down to 13 people. Couple bad beats. The one guy had the Dolphins on Monday Night Football.
Ooh.
So that's a tough one.
Yeah, it hurts.
Of 13 with 3 minutes to go against Will Levis. Somehow found a way to lose that. That was the weirdest game, how they even got up 13 and then how they blew that.
With the fumbles and the turnovers right at the goal line.
But, yeah, so allegedly there are 13 people left. The group went around to do a hedge. It's for $9 million. So the agreement was $400,000. Everybody gets $400,000. And then you play for the remaining, I believe it's $4 million. 12 of the 13 agreed. One person said, hell nah. Let it ride. And if that was me, I would be devastated. I'm the biggest hedger known to man. And if
Yeah.
someone would not give me $400,000, I would go ballistic.
He must have. Does he have like? So everyone just has one left. I know, like you can like enter multiple. Does anyone have
Oh yeah,
two
two entries.
entries out of the
This is
13?
I'm not sure.
So I guess not if everyone's trying to hedge.
I didn't realize this was a second chance pool.
No.
Some pools you can just enter multiple.
Just
entries.
enter-
Oh,
I
just
see
like
what
you
you're
want-
saying.
yeah.
I see what you're
Just
saying.
enter multiple at the beginning.
Now that guy is the kind of guy that will win it. Just that I can picture him. He's just got chutzpah.
That guy is Denny
Just-
one time.
I wish it was me.
Now, Denny likes to hedge.
I like to, hedge it.
You gotta have
But
options.
like that guy, right? Most of these people don't have the ability to, like bet $100,000 on
Yeah,
DraftKings on their, in
Yeah.
case they lose. Like they don't have that ability.
Circuit
This
is
guy probably
giving
does.
credits though, so people can kind of do stuff like
Like
that.
betting on margin.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
pretty cool.
Cool. Maybe we should do that.
That'd be your
next year.
equity raise right there.
Denny, should Graybos do a Circa Survivor next year?
If legal and ethical in the state of Virginia, yes.
Let's get to our card segment. Like Denny said earlier, we have the 2023 Bowman Draft Jumbos for $580. You get 3 autos in that and Super Jumbos at $800. 5 autos in the Super Jumbo. 5 in shop and online at graybos.co. Just to tell you how hot this product is, Paul Skeens, the number 1 overall pick from the Pirates, who is a pitcher.
Who's he dating, Fitz?
Olivia. Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Olivia
her.
Dunn,
I
is that her
like
name?
her.
Yeah.
Olivia Dunn. Just to tell you how hot this product is, Paul Skeens, who is the number 1 pick, but pitchers don't get this much love. His red out of 5 is selling right now on eBay for $5,000 with 2 days left on eBay auction. $5,000. He hasn't pitched in the major leagues yet.
Seto described him as the best pitcher since Strasburg coming out of the draft, but better than Strasburg.
And we saw how Strasburg worked out.
Well,
Made a lot of
I'm
money.
just saying.
Paul Skeens is good.
Paul Skeens is very good. Very good. All right. I think we need to talk maybe a little bit about some cards. Denny, you have
Yeah.
something to offer about baseball? It is time to buy. There is opportunity for baseball right now.
If you're a card investor, flipper, it's a great time to buy. As we mentioned, probably the last couple of weeks, that folks this time of year start selling cards, dumping cards in order to buy Christmas gifts, holiday gifts, and you can just get some discounts now that you can't get any other time of year. Like right now, literally, like this week is one of the best weeks in the whole 52-week cycle. So don't forget about the baseball guys because you're in the dead of the offseason. I really like Jackson Holliday as an investment long term. Yeah, there's no sure thing out there in the minor leagues, but he's about as close as it gets. In the basketball world, I'm buying up Ant-Man, a few other folks. I just like Ant-Man long term, and the Wolves are actually playing well. When it comes to football, think about stashing. And historically, people say just stick to quarterbacks, which is kind of mostly true from a long-term investment standpoint. But in the short term, you can make some money on position players. And I like stashing up some running backs like A-Chain and Roshan. I think that those guys are, Fitz may have been wrong last week about Roshan, but this time next year, he's going to be the starting back. I think A-Chain has got huge upside. And so I'm buying low on some quarterbacks like Bryce Young. And look, Herbert is hurt. The Chargers stink. Everybody thinks the world's ending. Guess what? That means it's a great time to buy.
Did we just get back a couple Bryce Young cards? Little PSA 10s, baby. Jim meant 10.
Jim 10 chat.
Woo!
Yeah, so think about this. Paul Hickey on Sports Card Strategy always talks about selling markers. Like when you buy something, what's the marker to sell it? Like they win the MVP, they win the World Series, they win the Super Bowl, right? They get pulled up from AA to AAA to the big leagues. Those are good markers to sell. When they fire Staley, and they will, sure as the sun will rise in the east, they will fire that man.
Fire this man.
And then what happens next? They start speculating who the next coach is going to be. Some names will get thrown out there. And
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh, Belichick,
Jim Caldwell.
Jim Caldwell, Jim Mora. And then people start envisioning, oh my gosh, Herbert was a good coach. What a thing. What a thing.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
And so whether the speculation of the new coach or the hiring of the new coach, next year's preseason hype with the new coach, bars. Let's go.
Markers. If you're not listening to Paul Hickey, what are you doing?
Yeah. And then one more little tidbit. I think I talked about the Bills. You know, they might win the Super Bowl. But no, another fun fact. In a year like this, when you got like 9 starting quarterbacks injured, which means you have 9 backups starting, I'll just all the people out there, never throw away a rookie quarterback card. When Aiden O'Connell started, I was working the shop one day. I found an Aiden O'Connell card, just pulled it out of the dollar box, threw it on eBay, $40. Went from $1 or $2 to $40. Will Levis, same thing. Jake Browning this year, same thing. So don't even get me started on Tommy Cutlets, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, just think about that. Go look through your old. You got 9 guys.
Go find them. Go find them.
These 9 guys starting this week that aren't starters, 5 of them, 4 of them, 3 of them will win. Their cards will double, triple in value just from this one silly game.
And if you're in the Will Levis market, let us know. We got some beautiful 1-of-1s on consignment.
Yeah, shout out Brent.
Shout out Brent.
Yeah.
That is very true. I forgot all about those. Heck yeah. Yeah. Market movers. Save 20% after a free 14-day trial. Visit marketmoversapp.com and use the promo code NOOFFSEASON. Well, that's going to be all for today. Good luck with your bets. Thanks to our listeners for riding with Graybos, and be sure to tune in next time. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify or iTunes, wherever you listen. That would be fantastic. And come see us at the Graybos shop. Also, we're online, graybos.co. Great deals. Anything to add, fellas?
Graybos Giblets is part of the NoOffSeason.com sports card network.
It's been the honor of a lifetime to be here.
Giblets. Band of brothers. Giblets.
Closed eyes when I go to sleep, I don't see sheep, see dollar signs. $100 got him beat the eyes for the 100th time at a money line. Brock Purdy was irrelevant, now I'm at the front like a cutting line. G5 to the power 5, Gray was on fire like it's summertime. I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window? I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the